Hey friends out there, Pastor Scott here, Grace Community Church, wanting to share some words of encouragement here, and going to try to record a few words, maybe a couple times a week or so here, just to encourage us in this season, in this unprecedented time. I want to share from God's Word because that's where our hope is and our encouragement is, and happy Thursday. Hope you all are doing well out there. Want to share from one of my favorite passages that I turn to when things aren't going well, and the Psalms are great. Always highly recommend. If you're stuck, you don't know where to go, and you need some encouragement, the Psalms are always a great place to look to in God's Word for encouragement. It's just an authentic and very real place. It speaks right from the heart of experience and life. It's raw. And so, anyways, check out the Psalms. One of those places that I like to go to, Psalm 46:2, is a real common one for me. God is our refuge and strength, our ever-present help in trouble. You've probably heard this verse. You've probably seen it, heard it. It's all over the place in terms of wall art and things like that. It's really common. It's very encouraging. It gives off the language of God's strength for us in these different metaphors. Psalm 18 brings out these metaphors more fully, and it's saying, "The Lord is my rock, my fortress, my deliverer, my God, my rock in whom I take refuge, my shield, the horn of my salvation, my stronghold." This language here of God being our rock. I want to just break some of these down here, right? So God is our rock means that He's this foundation that's unchanging. Now, right in our circumstances where we feel and experience things are outside of our control, and things are just coming our way and we can't control it, and we're hurting and we're struggling. Our world is outside of our control. It's kind of like that snow globe, if you will, shaken up and everything's swirling around. God being our refuge or our rock reminds us that He's unchanging. He's solid. All right? In addition, we get the language that He's our refuge. This language of refuge is like a cave. All right? And that this idea of a cave is that it protects you from above here, if you will, like the elements. So people go into the caves in order to be protected from the elements. So God is that cave. He's that refuge. Another image that's used here is that He's our fortress. All right? So if you go into a cave, the fortress is what surrounds you, right? You think of those medieval kinds of castles, and their walls are like 8 to even at times 24 feet thick. And so they can sustain a siege and a barrage of cannon fire and things like that. That the fortress is this place of security and safety if you go inside of it, right? The other image that's thrown out here is strength, or another way that's used is stronghold. And a stronghold means this kind of high tower. It means that you're removed from being accessed by the enemy, by the attacks. And so you're held up in this high place, and the attacks all fall short of being able to hit you. The psalmists go back to these images over and over and over for us. He's our refuge. He's my rock. He's my strength, my stronghold. He's my fortress. God is these things for us in these times of uncertainty and in these times of difficulty and suffering. He is these things for us. He provides shelter in the midst of the storm. He provides a protection and security from the attack. He holds us up in such a way that the attacks won't affect us. God is these things for you. He is these things for us. But the question is, a lot of times, why don't we experience this, right? Why don't we experience this sense of security and being protected and being held away from the storm or the difficulty or the attacks? Why don't we experience that? When we think about this, just logically with a cave won't protect you if you're standing outside of it. If you're standing in the rain and saying, "God, won't you help me?" You got to go into the cave, right? You got to go in the cave. If you're standing outside of the castle and you're getting the arrow shot at you, you're not going to be protected unless you go inside the castle, right? You know, it's not rocket science. We've got to go in. We like the phrase, God's got this. But we don't experience the peace and security and even joy in the midst of suffering if God doesn't have us. If we don't go into the stronghold, if we don't go into the cave, the refuge, if we don't stand on the rock, then the security of God that he has for you and for us, we're not going to experience it. We got to come in. And what does that mean to come in? In Psalm 18, he says, I love you, Lord, my rock, my strength. If God doesn't have us, we're not going to experience that God's got it. That God's got all of this. We're not going to experience that. God's got to have us. So that starts with us surrendering our expectations. God, you got to take all of this away, my circumstances away. That's not the truth. His word says that you are my refuge and my strength in trouble. It's not the stopping of the attack or the barrage, or it's that he will protect us. He will hold us in security and safety away in the midst of the attack and the discouragement and the struggle. We got to come into him. And that means loving him and wanting his way. We want the stuff from God, right? We want the goods from him. We want the results from him. But that's only accessible if we want him. We got to start there. We got to lay down our expectations that things have got to change in our world, in our life. And we got to come and we got to want him and enter in that love relationship with him. I've got teenage boys, right? Junior high boys, and I go to give them a hug, and you know what they do? They squirm, and they don't want to get away from me. They don't want to be hugged. They don't want that affection right now, right? That's just teenage boys. That's what they want. But that's kind of like us. Like God's for us. He's got this for us, but he wants to hold us, but we are not turning towards him to receive that and embrace him. We are wrestling away. No, I want this my way. And as long as we don't come into him, as long as God doesn't have us, we're not going to experience that God has this. So, friends, this is for you. God is your refuge, your strength, your rock, your fortress. He will give you security and joy, even joy, in the midst of these uncertainties of these times. God's got it. Does he have you? Come and turn and be embraced and embrace him and let his love fill you. All right? Blessings praying over you all as we are standing firm here in the midst of the storm.